me! Move me out!
You will go one-on-one with The Undertaker!
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Hit the Books, the only weekly realistic fantasy booking podcast in the universe. Talking all things, booking all things WWE Universe GM mode style up in this house. I am your host, as always, Ryan Knightsey, and with me, as always, is the man of 1,000 nicknames, Mikey. Man, Freddie, how are you doing, Mikey?
At this point, should the man of 1,000 nicknames just become the Taco Bell Kid? Because that's probably the best one.
We talked about this last week, and
it's branding, Ryan.
It's branding. Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll do the Taco Bell. I can convert Man of 1,000 nicknames to the Taco Bell Kid until your brand changes.
I don't know if that's going to happen anytime soon.
Well, let's see how 2021 turns out.
Hopefully, but I mean, it can't be worse, right?
I don't want to wish those things. Or
I don't think there's any possible way any year could be worse unless it's literally the end of the world.
Yeah, that's why I don't want to wish things into existence, Mikey. Is because I don't know. What if we don't ever get to 2021? What if the world just ends? Oh.
The world ends on December 31st, 11:59 p.m.
We wake up and our computers say December 32nd. We're like, what?
Oh my god.
The year still happening?
December 32nd, 2020. Oh no!
Or just even, it's like Groundhog Day where we just have to live December 31st over and over again.
We're just like, please get me out of this year.
Oh my god, yeah, that would be worst case scenario, honestly. But yeah, I'm glad I can do that. I can convert Man of 1,000 nicknames to the Taco Bell Kid, because who knows? Maybe you're going to grow tired of Taco Bell, and we have to change to the Kentucky Fried General or something.
The Kentucky Fried General, better than Colonel.
Well, of course. We're all
Kentucky Fried Commander-in-Chief.
I mean, I would prefer that over Kentucky Fried Private any day. So welcome to Hit the Books, everybody. We're not a show that discusses fast food, even though we're rapidly becoming that.
We've done it in the past.
Yeah, we have done it in the past, and we are prepped and primed and ready for a new Taco Bell rollout of food. And
they got rid of the cheesy potato griller, and my heart is broken because that was one of my favorite things on the menu.
One of my favorite things on the menu.
And now I can never get it again, and I'm gonna cry.
I just love the nacho fries, and I love it when they're there, and I hate to see them go.
They got rid of all potato dish, all potatoes. They just discontinued potatoes.
Well, maybe they're making room for something new.
I don't know, man. I'm just upset because I went the other day, and I knew it was coming. I just didn't think it was going to be this soon. I went a couple of days ago, and I ordered the cheesy potato griller, and they were like, sorry, potatoes have been discontinued. And then my heart literally... I think the person over the loudspeaker literally heard my heart break.
I love how it's like, yeah, sorry, they've been discontinued. They're no more. We're throwing them all away.
They're not doing the potatoes anymore, which is buck wild, because that was one of my favorite items on the menu, and now I'm sad.
It appears they have brought back as the time of recording, the Grande Nachos box.
Who cares? There's no cheesy potato griller.
Mikey, put down the sword.
No.
Don't die on this hill.
I need my cheesy potato griller.
God, you have an IV drip and it's full of cheesy potatoes.
I'm just gonna. This is the hill I'm gonna die on. That cheesy potato griller should never have been gotten rid of.
Are you gonna die on the hill that they're the best thing at Taco Bell?
That is not true, because nacho fries are the best thing at Taco Bell.
Yeah, nacho fries are the best thing at Taco Bell.
Nacho fries and Baja Blast are the best things at Taco Bell.
At me, dog. Well, like
and
I said.
Also, apparently the quesadillas have a chipotle sauce in them, and the place and the Taco Bell I went to ran out of chipotle sauce. And quesadillas are way worse without the chipotle sauce. I never realized how much of a difference it makes.
Remember how we started this conversation by saying that we don't talk about food on this show?
Anyway, let's get to wrestling.
We went into like a whole tangent and a half.
Because Taco Bell got rid of one of my favorite things.
I don't blame you for that. I understand completely. So thank you everybody for joining us. Like I said, we don't just talk about Taco Bell except when it gets rid of the Mikey's favorite food there. But we do. What we do every week is we book our own versions of Monday Night Raw, WWE's Monday Night Raw, and Friday Night SmackDown. I am the head general manager, I guess you could see. What is it? What do they say? Executive producer? I think that's
executive producer, executive writer, executive general manager to the executive writer producer.
I forget. There was like an actual phrase they used for Heyman and Bischoff, and I think
don't remember.
Executive producer. Either way, we are the EPs. I am the EP of Raw. Mikey's the EP of SmackDown. And every single week, we write up our own versions of those programs. And we're ready, willing, and able to bring you the go-home episode of each show before SummerSlam. This Sunday will be our SummerSlam pay-per-view special. That's right. It's around the corner. Potentially it's happening. Well, COVID doesn't exist in this universe because we would have just lost our minds if that was the case. But not Taco Bell. Damn it!
Oh man, now it's hitting you.
Yeah, it has. I'm really hungry. I was thinking. So okay, so I'm gonna. I don't know if you can tell my audio is different in any capacity, Mikey, but I'm in currently not my humble abode. In fact, I'm in a hotel room.
You just really like calling it humble, huh?
Well, I am the most humblest person in the world. Anyways, I'm no longer in my humble abode. I'm in a hotel room. And the reason I'm in a hotel room is because I'm working or about to work. I'm technically currently quarantining for a job to start, a film job I'm about to work on. Can't talk about it too much.
That's fair.
But what
NDAs and whatnot.
Yeah, well, I guess technically I haven't signed an NDA. I don't remember if there was one to start work. Probably.
So spill the beans. No, I'm just kidding.
No, that's Taco Bell again. So technically I'm quarantining right now as we speak at the time of recording. By the time this episode goes out, I'll be in week 1 or something of actual working. So I don't know how this is going to go. But what I'm trying to say is that they, because of COVID and health and safety measures, really going the full 10 yards here. To get that first down, but that first down is going straight into my tummy because they basically feed us breakfast, lunch, and dinner in our hotel rooms every day.
Neat.
It's kind of like a prison in the sense that I just have to sit in my hotel room
and they just slide food under the door.
Basically, like they knock on the door. I get up, I wait a couple seconds for them to leave, and then I grab my food. So I don't interact with anybody, but it's kind of nice. But what I'm trying to get to is that I was thinking about Bojangles right before we started recording, and I was thinking about maybe just skipping lunch, whatever they provide, and getting myself Bojangles.
Bojangles. I've never had Bojangles. I don't think.
I like it. I like Bojangles. It's more of a southern food, and you live in New Jersey, so I don't think you've ever seen a Bojangles.
Yeah, so there's really no. I mean, I've seen a Bojangles. I mean, my uncle is from North Carolina, so I've seen a Bojangles.
It's
I've
good.
Never had Bojangles.
Some people get like the wings and chicken wings and whatnot. I got the chicken wings and I thought they were good and they were nice and crispy and the biscuits are great and the fries are delicious. But I've been actually converted into the chicken tenders, which is such a childhood thing. But when you're like when you're in high school and college. And chicken tenders are always like a mixed bag, but every once in a while,
chicken tenders are always there.
Always there for you. But what. You know how like sometimes they're like just garbage chicken tenders, and
then sometimes
they're awesome. Like the perfect chicken tenders. Those are like every single time at Bojangles. It's like that. It's like that kind of chicken tender. So I've greatly enjoyed it, along with their fries, a Mountain Dew, and a biscuit. That's basically living in the South, Mikey. That's basically what my diet is now, as Jesse described it, is meat and bread.
I mean, yeah, that's my diet as well.
So that's basically where I'm at in my life. So yeah, so currently I'm on a job. So like I think I talked about it before last week, is that we're about to go into a job. So we're going to try to see how the recordings and stuff goes. So hopefully we'll have everything out in time for all of y'all. So we'll see how it goes. But
I'm sure
we do have the go home show today, Mikey. I've got Raw, you got SmackDown. Are we ready to do this right before we get into SummerSlam?
I think we are. Let's hit the Go Home show.
Okay, I will start us off. And Mikey, if you don't mind, my first 3 segments basically are all tied together. Do you want me to just go through them all?
Yeah, knock them out.
Okay, well, then we're going to open up with Seth Rollins and the Disciples, the Raw Tag Team Champions, the Disciples. They are opening up Raw. Rollins walks out with that bloody steel chair that he used on Christian last week.
Jesus.
If you remember.
Yes, it was a pretty brutal thing to forget.
Yes. Rollins grabs the mic and says that last week was only a sliver of what will happen to you, Edge. I took out your best friend with ease. Think about that. Think about how easy it was to break his neck while you just stood there and watched. Actually, come to think of it, you chose to break your friend's neck because you refused to stand down. And in some ways, Edge, that's respectable. But to me, that's foolish. You decided that a win was more important to you than your friend's life, and Christian paid the price. And now, because of your greed, Edge, you have no advantage.
Christian is dead.
You have no friends. You have no one that is on your side anymore. Edge, you are all alone. Which this leads into the first match, which is the Disciples versus Lucha House Party in a Raw Tag Team Championship match. 2 weeks ago, Lucha House Party got the upset victory over Rollins and Mastiff, so they're able to challenge for the titles here. But of course, they do not win. The Disciples get the victory. The Disciples being Mastiff and Murphy here.
But of course they don't win.
But of course, you really thought...
Even though they got the upset victory, but of course they lose.
Yeah, I mean...
So you're telling me we can't get Lucha House Party at SummerSlam? Unbelievable.
No, I mean, currently there's no Raw Tag Team Championship match scheduled at SummerSlam. I'll reveal that much information.
Oh, no.
That's why you're getting the match tonight.
Fair enough.
That's what I do sometimes. It's like, oh, I'm not going to have it, so I'm going to have it on Raw the night before or whatever. But then that goes into the next segment. Jesus Christ, Ryan. After the last match, Rollins goes back on the mic, congratulates Murphy and Mastiff on their win tonight. He says that what's great about Murphy and Mastiff is that they not only do they get the job done, they do what they are told, and that is the problem with you, Edge. You don't follow the word of law around here. You try and forge your own path, the path of greed, the path of destruction. You choose to go your own way, Edge, and that has led you here friendless. You see, Edge, I have friends here in Murphy and Mastiff, and sure, you made Christian a sacrificial lamb over the stipulation choice. I get it. But was it worth the price, Edge?
Damn, he's really hammering that home, huh?
Yeah, well, he's the heel. Was it worth the price, Edge? I bet you, Christian, it wasn't. Suddenly, Edge appears on the Titantron. Edge tells Rollins that he's had enough of hearing the so-called Messiah spit lies to the WWE Universe. You do not understand how hard it was to leave this business, the business that I loved years ago, and what it took for me to come back. You have not walked a day in my boots, Seth. You don't know the pain I've been through to get to where I am today. That's why at SummerSlam, I'm going to show you exactly what pain I've been through in a TLC match.
Classic. The Edge and Christian special.
Yes. Then Edge and the Viking Raiders jump Rollins and the Disciples from behind with chairs.
Haha, you thought I was backstage, but I was here all along.
In fact, it was a pre-recorded message.
Sucker.
Rollins gets away, but Edge is able to spear Murphy, through a table set up in the corner. Edge and Seth stare each other down from across the way. So it's official that Edge has made the decision at SummerSlam is going to be Edge versus Seth Rollins in a TLC match.
Oh, man. The match that Edge had a part in inventing.
Exactly. He's showing him how hard his career has been firsthand. And I looked it up. This is I don't know. I don't quite remember with our universe, but at least according to Cage Match, this would be the first ever like one-on-one TLC match that Seth Rollins has ever been in.
That's dope.
Yeah, he's been in a bunch of like Shield matches or that 5-on-3 with Kurt Angle.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, no, this is a huge match. And like I said, Mikey, can I? Well, first off, do you have any comments or anything? Because I have a couple of comments about.
So I have one quick question. With TLC matches, if they're not for a title, you have to pin the other person, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's all I had.
Yeah. To reveal the curtain, then a little bit. As I was writing these promos yesterday, I completely forgot that Edge won the match, and I was doing this whole promo of like Seth Rollins picking decision, and I had all this stuff. It was going to be the stipulation was going to be Rollins is going to have Edge put his career on the line.
Whoa.
So,
that would have been hardcore.
Yeah, one-on-one. But then I realized that Edge won, and I was like, shit, I gotta delete all
this
promos.
I also kind of stole that from you because Owens put his career on the line.
Yeah, and you had the no seconds at ringside, which is the original stipulation. Then you took the steel cage, and I was like, shit. And then Owens quit, and I was like, and then I forgot that Edge won. I was like, dang it. And so I was like, okay, what do I got left? That's something Edge would pick, and I was like, TLC match. There we go.
Perfect.
Plus, what? The next pay-per-view is Clash of Champions, I believe. And
good one.
Yeah, after Clash of Champions, we have Hell in a Cell, so I got room.
You need to say it right. It's Hell in the Cell.
What impression? Is that Undertaker? What impression are you doing there?
I don't know, but that's usually how they say it. Just very deep and gravelly and slow.
Fair enough. What's happening over on SmackDown?
Over on SmackDown, the show opener is none other than Oney Lorcan.
Hey.
He comes to the ring holding the contract for a tag team championship match at SummerSlam. He grabs a mic and starts talking in a much more somber tone than usual. He's not like his all caps Oney Lorcan.
Mm-hmm. These are short caps Oney Lorcan.
Last week, me and Danny Burch won the opportunity to take on One Nation at SummerSlam for the tag team championships. We were on top of the world after that grueling ladder match, but something was off. Birch told me he was hurting, and we shook it off at first because, of course, we'd be sore after a match like that. Unfortunately, the pain continued longer than it should have, so he went to the WWE doctors, and he got some bad news. Birch has insert bad injury here. And he's going to be out of action for quite some time, which means we won't be getting that title shot come Sunday. Lorcan looks distraught, but snaps out of it. However, that doesn't mean there won't be a tag team title match at all.
Ooh.
I talked to GM Page, and given the circumstances, I think we worked out a solution. 4 teams will compete tonight in 2 matches. The winners of those matches will go on to SummerSlam, where the winners of those Sorry. I wrote this weird.
You're getting excited?
I wrote this weird. Okay. The winners of those matches will go on to SummerSlam, where the winners of that match will be receiving a contract for the match against One Nation for the championships later in the night. And the first match will be happening right now. So, to sum it up, there's 2 matches tonight. The winners of those matches will have a match at SummerSlam, and then if whoever wins that match will get the title match later in the night at SummerSlam. So whoever wins is doing 2 matches at SummerSlam.
Okay. Can you announce who those people are? Or are you waiting?
Yeah. Well, right. I'm about to go into match 1 that has 2 of the competitors right now.
Well, there we go.
So match number 1 is Ali and Mysterio versus the Street Profits, in which the Street Profits pick up the victory. And the other 2 teams are Heavy Machinery and Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly.
Okay. Oh, that sucks for Oney Lorcan.
Yeah.
Big sucks for Oney Lorcan. Big sucks. That really sucks for Oney Lorcan. So because of that was the ultimate question is, what are the other teams? Because does that mean Oney Lorcan basically lost out on his contract? Lost out on his opportunity.
Yeah, I feel like it was kind of on his own accord because he talked to Paige about it and they picked the teams together, and Fish and O'Reilly have just been on a hot streak lately, so I think they've earned it. And Oney Lorcan, I feel like, wouldn't want to do it without Birch, you know?
Mm-hmm. Plus, this is assuming Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly can get the win here. You might have just tricked your way into having all four or five.
All Undisputed Era on the SummerSlam card?
Yes,
I'm aware.
Very nice, Mikey. Very nice. Well, we have to find out if they win. Well, then who did we say? You said Street Profits win.
The Street Profits win against Ali and Mysterio in the first match of the night.
Nice. A little return from Street Profits.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you want to? Where are we? Do you want to go? You did your first two. Do you want to do your next segment as well?
Sure. I'll do one more. The next segment is a backstage interview. The backstage interview with Ember Moon, asking her about what happened last week.
Oh, yes.
Ember says last week was about revenge. Asuka shoved me aside when she became the SmackDown Women's Champion. She forgot about me, left me in the dust, and I'm back now, and I have a score to settle. So, Asuka, I'm challenging you to a match at SummerSlam. This time it's going to be different because I'm a whole new type of dangerous. I've been training all this time. I've been gone for a chance at redemption, and I don't plan on throwing that away. And Ember leaves.
Okay, I like it. Nice little promo here by Ember Moon, plus the official match announcement of, right? I think it is officially.
Yes. Well, that comes later.
Oh, she's Ember Moon is currently challenged. Right?
Ember Moon put out the challenge. Yes.
Okay, but the believed match is going to be Asuka versus
Ember Moon versus Asuka. Yeah.
Okay, I like it. Okay, I'm liking how this card is shaping up. Okay, well, let's head back over to Raw. Speaking of SummerSlam cards shaping up, we have the number one contenders battle royal for the Intercontinental Championship.
All right.
Mikey, I hope you have the piece of paper prepared, because last week I asked you to write down who you think was going to win. So
don't right here.
Don't reveal it yet. But real quickly, I'm just going to go through it. Those contestants, I believe I said it was a 16-man Intercontinental Championship Battle Royal, number one contendership, between Chad Gable, R-Truth, The Miz, Elias, Daniel Bryan, John Morrison, Andrade, King Corbin, Titus O'Neil, Bo Dallas, Ricochet, Cedric Alexander, Eric, Ivar, Bobby Lashley, and Cesaro.
Okay.
So
I have my answer written down. I will say I was between two competitors on this one, and I think I don't know if I picked the correct one, but I could possibly get it here.
Well, how should we do this? Should you reveal now and then I say what happens in the match?
Let's say I'll reveal now.
Go for it.
All right. So I picked on this one, possibly for a swerve victory, King Corbin, and I will show you on the camera right now that I wrote it down last week.
Okay, Key wrote down King Corbin. I can confirm. That's a solid choice. Sheamus versus King Corbin at SummerSlam?
Mm-hmm.
That's not a bad choice.
I was between him and one other person.
Who was the other person?
Chad Gable.
Oh, another solid choice. Well, let me reveal to you what happens during this match. During the match, there's at some point R-Truth gets slided out of the ring. Daniel Bryan, Chad Gable, Andrade, Morrison all eliminate each other at different times, with Miz eliminating Morrison last. Same sort of deal happens with Lashley, Cesaro, Ricochet, and Alexander. Elias and King Corbin are the last two standing.
All right, so I might be correct.
But they eliminate each other at the same exact time.
What? That's not fair.
Causing confusion over who wins.
How was I supposed to guess that?
And that's announcer says that because that he is the only person that was not officially eliminated during the match. Like I said, he got slided out of the ring at the very beginning of the match. The winner is R-Truth.
Damn it. I'm so bad.
So at SummerSlam, it's going to be Sheamus versus R-Truth for the Intercontinental Championship. Hard Truth has returned.
I was close though.
You were close. You were at the last three, however you want to see it.
Oh my god, I'm so mad.
What? What are you mad about? What are you mad about? I don't understand what the problem is.
Fucking R-Truth getting the win.
By not doing anything.
By not doing anything. You ever see that video online where people are just playing like Mario Party mini games and they're Luigi, and it's just a video titled "Luigi wins by doing nothing"?
Yes, or like Smash Brothers or something.
It's that.
I mean, yeah, basically, R-Truth wins this battle royal. Everyone else is heated and eliminates each other. So at SummerSlam, it's Sheamus versus R-Truth.
Incredible.
For the title.
Incredible.
How do you feel about that?
I think this is like the first title shot R-Truth has gotten that isn't 24/7.
I was looking at it. Technically, he's still the 24/7 champion.
Of course he is.
Neither of us.
Who else would it be?
Neither of us have touched that title since R-Truth won it. Whenever he won it.
Incredible.
Yeah. So that's R-Truth for you, baby. R-Truth gets the title shot at SummerSlam for the Intercontinental Championship. So that match is announced.
I love it.
Okay, what's happening over at SmackDown?
Over on SmackDown, we have a video package hyping up the more than a year-long Universal title run of Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre's journey up the ladder on SmackDown, how the two became the top stars of the company, and how this match at SummerSlam is a veritable clash of the Titans.
Oh, of the company.
So it's just like a video package hyping up like Drew McIntyre, like how far Drew McIntyre has come, hyping up the match, hyping up how far Drew McIntyre has come, hyping up Orton's title run, and how this match is like a huge match coming up. You know, just hyping up the Universal title match at SummerSlam.
Perfect. I mean, we talked about it before on the show where I've been tracking the data, and basically I was, we have this system that I have set up here, which is like Ocelot. Basically what it is it figures out, it ranks people based on wins, but like not only the wins, but based on like the quality of the wins. So if like Randy Orton defeats, who's at the bottom of this list? If Randy Orton defeats, I don't know, Dolph Ziggler, it's not going to matter too much. But if, Randy Orton defeats Drew McIntyre, that's a huge win, right? So basically doing all that and doing that from August 2018, basically when we started the show to now, 2 years later. I guess September. Was it? No, August 2018 to now, 2 years later. Did we say that this episode is the 2-year episode? Hold on. Did we say last week that this was the 2-year episode, Mikey? Did we screw up?
Maybe. Listen, it's fine. It's fine.
I was gonna do a quick search. God, what idiots. But basically in those 2 years, what I'm trying to say is McIntyre and Orton are the top two guys, at least on SmackDown. They're not the top two people in the company currently. Number one currently is Shayna Baszler. But they are the top. They're two of the three. And real quickly, let me look back at our episode log to see when August 17th was the draft. So when this episode comes out, it'll be the 2 years basically. Happy 2-year anniversary, Mikey.
Happy 2-year anniversary, Ryan.
God, we suck. Totally forgot. Last week, we'll do something. And we 100% forgot. In my defense, I'm in a hotel, so I don't know what else I can do. We did a whole bit. We did a whole bit at the 100th episode. We did all this stuff. 100% forgot about the 2-year anniversary.
Mm-hmm. It's fine. It's fine.
Well, let's look back. Any fun moments and memories? Should we look back now? Any fun moments for the 2 years?
Let's hit a flashback real quick. Dude, we've gone through so much on this show.
Yeah, a lot of highs and lows.
Yeah, for sure. I still am never gonna forget when we first started and we had that big fatal 4-way between Rollins, Styles, McIntyre, and Owens for the Universal title or the WWE title
in a Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah.
That's when we're just like, and not only that, but it was like
when we were just like going like balls to the wall, like how crazy can we make this?
Well, I would argue we still go slightly balls to the wall, but at the very least, it also like showed us, like it was us being like, here these are the four guys we're pushing right now, right? These are the guys that we're gonna push, and that's something that I feel like I talked about before, where we do a good job of that long-term storytelling. Like we were like in Hell in a Cell, we were like, these are the four guys that are gonna matter, and at WrestleMania, you know, they're all in matches. They were constantly in the picture the entire time. Owens loses, but does the whole United States Championship gimmick.
That was so good. Eating off of it, throwing it in the trash.
It was great. And then we eventually get to Rollins and Styles spin off and do their own thing at WrestleMania. We find a way to push up Balor into like that fifth person slot.
We brought up Undisputed Era in like a crazy way.
Oh, at the 1000th episode of Smackdown.
Yeah, where it was, what was it, AJ Styles versus Seth Rollins?
Yes, the first time ever. But we don't get a result.
Ever, the dream match.
The dream match. For the first time ever, the dream
match
interrupted
happens. And ruined.
Yes. And then they had the proper finish at WrestleMania.
And
have never touched again. I have them on the same brand, and they're not even like together feuding or anything. I could do it again. I could do it at WrestleMania again if I wanted to. But I haven't. Yeah, no, I think that start was very, very good. There was also, I remember, like, there was also like some downsides. We talked about this before a lot, where like the beginning of the women's division got a little crumpled because that was, the randomizer was really hurting the women's division. It was almost like we were AEW Dynamite, where it's like we're trying to push all these things, but then just outside forces of injuries and whatnot ruin things for us, and we're like, Jesus, what are we gonna build? I feel like then we've, I think a couple years ago we had that run of like after WrestleMania of McIntyre, we were sort of like, okay, what are we gonna do? Finding our footing a little bit, and then I think honestly that that kind of like we get WrestleMania to WrestleMania at that point, I think it was us kind of find our footing at the very beginning, because also like Balor got injured and was gone forever. And that was us being like, okay, what the hell are we gonna do?
I think it's so wild that Balor got injured, but like when we first started this show and just recently came back, like when we split the brands.
Yeah,
I think
it was
Balor got hurt for so long, like right toward the beginning of our show, and he came back. His return was season 3, episode 4.
He was gone for almost a year. Like he was gone for like 40 something weeks or whatever it was.
Yeah.
He was gone for a very, very long time. But yeah, now he's back. Well, now he's disappeared, I guess.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. He's doing his own thing. He's got his demons to get rid of, I guess.
Yeah.
or has gotten rid of. I don't know. I guess you have the options.
I guess we'll find out. Yeah.
But yeah, and then I think like I feel like we've done a lot of good storyline. I mean, I greatly enjoy what we've been doing in season 3, which has been obviously the split draft, the split rosters, the split shows, doing everything on our own. It's been sometimes difficult coming up with ideas when it's just you, but I feel like it's been a lot of fun, and it's helped me realize what your booking style, like get a better sense of what your booking style is compared to what mine is.
Mm-hmm.
And by that I mean you push the women a lot better than I do.
Well, I mean that's not. I feel like that's not me pushing the women. I just feel like no offense to you, I just feel like I have my women's talent is just better than my the men's talent on my roster. So it's just like that's what I'm pushing. What I know is good,
That's fair, and that's a good point. That's a very good point. And yeah, and to be fair, I did lose Becky Lynch right at the beginning there.
Mm-hmm.
So I was sort of like, because I was going to be building everything around Becky Lynch, and then I was like, oh no. I think she was like one of my first draft picks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, she was champ. No, was she champion?
She was champion, so you kept her.
I thought she lost it to Alexa Bliss at WrestleMania.
Maybe.
I'm looking it up real quickly. I think Becky Lynch was like one of my first. Yes, I got it. Alexa Bliss was champion. Becky Lynch was my first draft pick.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yours was Drew McIntyre.
Yes, I mean, of course.
Can we just talk about our draft real quickly? Like, here, can I tell you the first 5 picks for us, and we'll see how they are right now? See if it's a good investment. First 5 picks for Raw: Becky Lynch, unknown, bad investment. Ricochet, I haven't really done much with them, I'll be honest. The New Day, I would say, are in a huge feud right now.
Great.
Shorty G, Chad Gable,
Mm-hmm.
is doing. He was injured for a little bit, so I sort of lost him. And then Daniel Bryan. A lot of these people are a lot of people I just put investments into, like all the big names people that are actually using right now, like Baszler, like Roman Reigns was already champion, but like Edge was later. King lost the OC. Bobby Lashley and Cesaro were a lot. Bobby Lashley was like near the bottom of my list.
Because I don't think either of us wanted Bobby Lashley, really.
Yeah, but I feel like I've used him properly. And for you, your top 5, Mikey, here you go. Drew McIntyre, Pete Dunne, Kevin Owens, Ember Moon, and the Iconics.
Those are very Mikey picks, I feel like.
Yeah, those are very Mikey picks. But how do you
Those
feel
top
about
3 are very Mikey picks.
But how do you feel about like where their stock, like where they've since you saw something in those 5 people that you wanted to use them? How do you feel like after the fact?
I feel like the Iconics could do more. I mean, they just had that Piper Niven series where they just got destroyed by Piper Niven.
Yeah.
I think I'm getting back into building Kevin Owens again after not using him for a little bit.
Unless he loses to Adam Cole.
mean, Drew McIntyre obviously paid off.
Yeah.
Pete Dunne obviously paid off, my United States champion. I'm happy with where my picks are at.
Yeah, right after the Iconics was Banks and Bayley.
Ember Moon is back for a big match with Asuka. She had that like feud with Asuka for a little while. I think I'm happy with my picks.
Yeah, you've done a good job of like who I'm trying to see of like who's someone that you've picked really low on the board that you're using regularly. I mean, I would say like Sami Zayn and Braun Strowman are like kind of your middle of your draft roster picks, but you know,
I keep forgetting Braun Strowman exists on my roster.
I'm telling you, Braun Strowman sucks as a character to write for. I don't know how to write for Braun Strowman.
Yeah, it's hard.
He's just this big dude.
Sami Zayn is Mr. Money in the Bank who keeps kind of appearing sometimes.
I loved that segment last week. But yeah, it's been 2 years, I think, of like great stuff. I'm excited about, you know, it's been nerves because it's like starting any new podcast, especially like a wrestling podcast where like the audience is already so small. I mean, like if you look at the like total, like compare it to like any comedy podcast, like your audience, your the net. If you look at the audience as like a lake, you know, it's like that lake is ginormous. Like who a lot of people can enjoy comedy, but when it comes to like wrestling fans that exist, how like that lake is way smaller. I mean, just look at like the ratings of like Dynamite and fucking WWE. It's like that lake is like 2 million people. It's still a lot of people, but compared to like however many people enjoy comedy, there's like multi-million people. So it's like it's a lot of like nerves of like that of like, are we doing the show properly? Are we doing this thing? And I like the show what we do. I greatly enjoyed the show that we've done and come up on 2 years. I cannot believe it. And
it's crazy that we've gone this far.
Here's to many more, Mikey.
Yes.
And then we'll clink our glasses.
Yes.
Oh God.
Clink.
Clink. It sounds like you just dropped all your glass on the ground.
No, it's fine. I just clinked one coffee mug against another by accident.
Perfect. Well, let's go back to the show. Let's go back to the show proper.
Yeah, let's get back into it. I just presented my video package. It's on Raw's. The ball is at Raw's court.
Yes. Backstage interview of Shayna Baszler. Baszler is asked about what appears to be her seeming threats to Alexa Bliss over a possible cash-in. Baszler questions the word threats and says that the word should be promises. When I go to the ring or when I get on the mic, I don't threaten somebody. It's not my goal to make someone scared of what I might do to them. I'm showing them exactly what I'm going to do to you. And when Alexa Bliss gets her head out of the clouds and back into my ring, I'm going to cash in this briefcase and show her what I am all about.
All right.
Charlie asks about the challenge from Bianca Belair and Naomi over the Money in the Bank briefcase and about the new news that there will be a triple threat match next week over that said briefcase.
The new news.
Baszler questions what would happen if there was no briefcase by then, and then she walks away.
Ooh. Bold statement by Shayna Baszler.
Yes. Heavy teases.
Possibly teasing a cash-in at SummerSlam.
Heavy teases.
Interesting. I like it.
What's happening on SmackDown?
On SmackDown, we have the match after the video package, which is Asuka versus Nikki Cross, and Asuka gets the win. After the match, Asuka grabs a mic and says, "Ember, I accept."
Yeah.
Asuka leaves with her match at SummerSlam, now official.
There we go. Asuka Ember Moon, the WrestleMania match, back for SummerSlam. Officially official. Wow. 6 months later.
Mm-hmm.
What happened to Ember Moon? Did she get injured or something? I don't quite remember.
No, Ember Moon lost to Asuka, and I purposefully didn't use her since until last week.
Oh.
She lost her title match to Asuka at one of the pay-per-views a while ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it wasn't like at WrestleMania, I think.
It was...
Maybe it was like a Backlash or something.
It was at Money in the Bank.
That first pay-per-view out.
Yeah.
Wow. And just you haven't used Ember Moon since. I haven't even noticed.
I didn't use Ember Moon on purpose because I wanted her to make a big return to get back at Asuka.
Ember Moon was injured for 1 week after that match, and she just then was never used. I did a search.
I tried to use that as like she really took her loss to Asuka hard, and I think that's what I'm trying to sell here.
Oh yeah, I believe that. Yeah,
because they were like a team for so long, and then like it was like kind of not a hard turn, but like Asuka kept messing with, kept ruining Ember Moon's chances, you know?
Yeah, because it was also like boiling up to that moment.
Yeah, and I wanted this to be like she took that really hard and trained up so she can come back and kick Asuka's ass, possibly.
I love it. Well, I guess we'll find out at SummerSlam this Sunday on this podcast feed.
It's Sunday.
Well, let's get into the next match over on Raw, why don't we?
Mm-hmm.
Which is a singles match, Rhea Ripley with, of course, Liv Morgan against Nia Jax with, of course, Alexa Bliss.
All right.
The winner of said match is going to be Rhea Ripley.
Cool.
So just sort of those seconds doing a match against each other. After the match, Alexa Bliss grabs the mic and tells Liv Morgan, "Look, you may have beaten our team at Extreme Rules, but there's one thing neither of you have been able to do, and that's defeat me. I am the Raw Women's Champion for a reason. There is a reason I was able to take down the man at WrestleMania when no one else could. I am a goddess, Liv Morgan. I'm better than you in every way imaginable. I eat people like you for breakfast while I'm just sipping on my coffee. You're nothing but a tag team wrestler trying to make it to the big stage, and you won't make it there. You will never make it there. Not while I'm on top. See you at SummerSlam, bitch."
See you at SummerSlam, bitch. I love it.
There we go. Nice little promo after the match between from Alexa Bliss, and yeah, just reiterating that match, Alexa Bliss versus Liv Morgan for the Raw Women's Championship.
All right, I'm so excited for that.
Me too. I'm excited. That match. Little tease, I guess, for the audience at home. That match is like I feel like for me personally, I've been sort of like a little bit of like circling the point of like, okay, what am I going to do about this division? What am I going to do? I it's been a couple months since Becky Lynch left, and me being like, okay, what the heck am I going to do here? And I feel like SummerSlam is the point where it's all going to open up and explode with way more storylines and way more possibilities.
Ooh, now I'm just even more excited.
Yeah, so there, tease for the audience and Mikey.
All right,
what's happening on SmackDown?
Over on SmackDown, we have a backstage interview with Undisputed Era about their upcoming presence at SummerSlam. Cole grabs the mic and says, "SummerSlam is one of the biggest events of the year. To crush the hopes and dreams of Owens, Dunne, and Bayley in front of a crowd like that is an opportunity like no other." We also got some more good news today when we found out that Fish and O'Reilly have their own chance to have a spot on the SummerSlam card and a chance to take on the tag team champions for the gold. Their match is next. When they win tonight and win twice at SummerSlam, we're going to have almost all the gold SmackDown has to offer. And that is undisputed.
Yes, baby. Then that means with Adam Cole defeating Kevin Owens, there's no one to stop him going after either Randy Orton or Drew McIntyre.
Mm-hmm.
I love to see it, folks. You love to see it.
Yeah, that would be the last. If Undisputed ever wins all their matches at SummerSlam, the last piece of the puzzle would be Adam Cole going after whoever, either Drew McIntyre or Randy Orton for that Universal title.
And then, of course, Ruby Riott going after the women's title at some point.
No,
if she wins,
she has a match. She has a match at SummerSlam against Bayley.
Everyone except for Adam Cole could win. Can win gold.
Well, Adam Cole has a match against Kevin Owens, but it's not for gold. But
yes, but it's for pinks.
Yeah. If it's okay with you, I'm just gonna hop right into my next match because we just teased it in that segment.
Sure. We
have Fish and O'Reilly versus Heavy Machinery. And Fish and O'Reilly get the victory. So Fish and O'Reilly are headed to SummerSlam against the Street Profits for a number one contenders match against for the titles.
Yes, they're having the number one contenders match, and then the winner of that match will face One Nation for the title.
Yes, later in the night. So both of those matches are happening at SummerSlam, which is kind of a bummer, but also, Danny Burch got home on the day before the go home show. I didn't have much real estate to work with.
No, I get you. I mean, I get you on that one. You had how long is Danny Burch injured for it again?
Oh, like 20-something weeks.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, Danny Burch is gone, so I think it's fair for you to be like, okay, I think you did a good job.
30 weeks. I'm sorry.
30 weeks. I think you did a good job of setting up this sort of mini tournament heading into SummerSlam. I think it's a solid choice. I think it's a solid pick. I'm excited to see what happens at SummerSlam.
Yeah. So now we have two matches announced for SummerSlam, which is Fish and O'Reilly versus the Street Profits, and then the winner of that match will be taking on One Nation for the titles.
Awesome. I think that's all of your SmackDown matches are official.
It is. That is all of my SmackDown matches for SummerSlam announced.
I love to see it. You love to see it. Well, then, speaking of match announcements, I forgot to announce a match after the Battle Royal, Mikey.
Oh, yeah? What do we got?
That match is going to be on the pre-show. It's going to be Andrade versus Chad Gable.
All right. I like that.
Yes, so just a quick one-on-one match. Daniel Bryan will certainly be in Gable's corner. And, of course, Vega and probably John Morrison is going to be Andrade's corner.
I love that.
So, yes, solid pre-show match there. But to go into the next thing for me, it's the video package, which is basically just recapping everything, the entire story of what happened between Roman Reigns and Aleister Black.
All right. I like it. Hyping up that match.
Yes, I would lose my mind if I went into intricate detail about everything that happened.
It was wild.
Yes, just go back and listen to it. Or go to htbpod.com and read up on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's all right there, folks. Well, then I'll go into my next match, which is the Bloodline, Roman Reigns and the Usos, taking on the New Day.
All right, like that.
Where the New Day win.
Nice. Big win for the New Day here.
Big win for the New Day here. After the match, Aleister Black jumps Roman Reigns from behind.
Okay.
Grabs the mic and tells him that he will see him at SummerSlam.
Love it.
So it's official. After taking down LLC, Aleister Black, Roman Reigns, official at SummerSlam.
That's dope.
Plus, we'll also announce here another pre-show match, The New Day versus the Usos.
Cool. Love it.
So that's our full SummerSlam card is announced, but we'll go into that later. I think, because you did two, I think I have one more, the final segment here, Mikey, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
I still have my main event and a final segment, actually.
Oh, well then hit your main event, and then we'll go to my segment, and then we'll go back to yours.
My main event is what we announced last week. We have Pete Dunne and Bayley versus Ruby Riott and Roderick Strong, in which Pete Dunne and Bayley pick up the victory. The champions win over the challengers.
Ooh, that makes me really think they're going to lose at SummerSlam.
Guess we'll see.
Oh, man, I'm really interested in this. It was subtle, but like all of a sudden it's like Undisputed Era have all these matches at SummerSlam, and 4 out of 5 of them are up for gold. I'm like, oh shit, SummerSlam is taking over. It's like all of a sudden
SummerSlam is going to be undisputed.
Perfect. Josiah Williams. Okay, well, let me hit you with my main event segment here, Mikey.
All right.
It's a main event match between Keith Lee and AJ Styles.
Love it.
But before the match could even start, Styles jumps and attacks Keith Lee.
Oh, no.
There's a brutal back-and-forth exchange between the two, and the ref can't separate them before they can actually properly start the match. So security comes out to separate them, but they are seemingly dealt with by the wrestlers. Wrestlers come from the back, and they come out to hold back Lee and Styles, but then Andrade attacks Gable, which then Bryan defends, but is attacked by Morrison. LLC throw off Bryan and Gable, but the New Day stop them.
Whoa.
You can sort of see where I'm going with this. It just devolves into a all-out, full locker room brawl between everyone on the roster.
Oh my gosh.
And
everyone at SummerSlam.
And that is how we close out the show.
Wow. Big ending for Raw.
Big ending. A big locker room brawl between everybody at SummerSlam. Really hyping up everything that's going to happen at SummerSlam.
Well, I'm going to try to one-up you with my main event segment, with my final segment of SmackDown. Randy Orton is packing his bags to head out for the night when the lights in the locker room flicker. Orton brushes it off and keeps packing. Then Orton hears a struggle outside. Realization strikes, and Orton grabs his bag and heads to the exit. He peeks out the door to see a security team completely laid out. Orton turns white and makes a mad dash for the parking lot and scrambles for his cell phone. He calls his backup security team, but no one answers.
Oh, shit.
Orton gets frustrated and keeps running towards his car. When he finally gets there, he finds his tires are slashed and a message written on the car in red spray paint. Nowhere left to run. As the camera pans around to get a shot of Orton's face, we see Drew McIntyre lurking in the background, and Randy Orton is petrified. Randy slowly turns and meets eyes with the Hunter himself, and the chase begins. Orton drops his bag and runs away, and McIntyre gives chase. The two run through the backstage area as Orton is trying to put anything in Drew McIntyre's path to slow him down. Orton ends up running down the ramp and to the ring, and McIntyre follows. As Orton slides in the ring and eyes down McIntyre, McIntyre stops at the end of the ramp and mouths the words, "See you Sunday." He laughs as the lights go out and come back on, and McIntyre is gone, leaving Orton terrified in the ring.
Holy shit. What a horror movie moment you built
right?
here. Holy crap. McIntyre is a monster among men.
Braun Strowman incoming.
The Hunter among men.
I tried to play up like Drew McIntyre playing mind games with Orton and really getting in his head.
Well, he's like the Hunter demon among men. Like he's taking bits from like Finn Balor, taking bits from Braun Strowman. Like
he's taking bits from all of his past hunts.
Oh, I love what a new idea that adds to McIntyre, where he gains power. He's like
gains power from whoever he defeats.
If he defeats Randy Orton, he'll be the most powerful individual in all of wrestling.
All of a sudden, he'll always be surrounded by security. And
then he has to take on 5 people in Undisputed Era. Oh my god, that would be... I love that idea. He takes the... All of a sudden, he's whipping out like 619s because he beat Mysterio, and he's doing Swanton bombs because he beat Jeff Hardy.
He's just going back through all of his past hunts, and he's just pulling out finishing moves. He hits like a coup de grace.
What a beast. What a beast incarnate that Drew McIntyre's become. I love it.
This is how SmackDown comes to a close. Orton just terrified in the ring after McIntyre seemingly chases him down, and instead of going after him, just kind of lets him go with the message like, I could have gotten you right there. I could have.
I like it. I like it. I think it's solid. Strike fear into Randy Orton, and that's basically what has been the story with this Randy Orton run, is that McIntyre over the course of a couple months, I would argue, has been slowly dismantling Randy Orton's security blanket.
Yeah, it went from Orton being fairly confident in being able to take out McIntyre when the Demon beat him pretty quick, and then when McIntyre came back and started hunting them again, I feel like Orton kind of brushed it off because he was like, the Demon's got this, and then he beat the Demon, and Orton slowly devolved into a terrified mess.
Yeah, and now the security team's gone. Like, both his normal and his backup security team are gone. Like, he's just been slow, and that's also like goes perfectly in line with who the Hunter character for McIntyre is that he's someone that he's not taking them out right away. He's dismantling slowly but surely. He's biding his time. Mm-hmm. He doesn't need to get you right away. He'll get you when he has you.
Yeah,
when you've been.
He'll get you when he deems it's time.
Exactly. And that's who the Hunter is. And SummerSlam is the time, Mikey. Mm-hmm. Should we read off the hype up SummerSlam before we hit the randomizer?
Yeah, let's hype up the SummerSlam card.
Okay, yeah. So I'll tell you what's happening on the Raw side first. On the Raw side,
these matches are in no particular order.
Yes, no particular order. But on the Raw side, we have the New Day versus the Usos, Andrade with Vega and Morrison versus Gable with Bryan. We've got, scrolling all the way down here, we got Roman Reigns versus Aleister Black. We have Edge versus Seth Rollins in a TLC match. We have Alexa Bliss versus Liv Morgan for the Raw Women's Championship. We have Sheamus, Mikey's favorite, Sheamus versus R-Truth for the Intercontinental Championship. And finally, for the WWE Championship, it's got a triple threat, Brock Lesnar versus AJ Styles versus Keith Lee.
All right. And over on the SmackDown side, we have Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly taking on the Street Profits for a chance at One Nation. Then we have Bayley versus Ruby Riott for the SmackDown Women's title. And we have Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton for the Universal Championship. Mm-hmm. Right, we have Asuka versus Ember Moon. We have One Nation versus the winner of Fish and O'Reilly and Street Profits. We have Kevin Owens versus Adam Cole. And we have Pete Dunne versus Roderick Strong for the United States Championship.
I feel like you said one of those twice, but I have no idea which one it was. But it doesn't matter.
You can think I did.
It doesn't matter because at this Sunday you get to hear the full card, hear it back, hear in its proper order, and find out who won those matches. It's SummerSlam, baby. It's the biggest party of the summer.
SummerSlam, baby.
It's a huge pay-per-view for us. It's a huge pay-per-view on Raw, I can tell you that much, Mike.
It's just a huge pay-per-view in general, man. It's one of the big five now, I think it is.
Yes. So go, subscribe to this podcast feed so that it can get dropped into your feed as soon as it drops on Sunday. So get ready for that. But we're not done yet. The reason we do all this stuff is that we want you to decide who had the better card. Was it my version of Raw? Was it Mikey's version of SmackDown? You can decide whose was better, where you can go to Twitter at HitTheBooksPod and vote in the poll that is there pinned on our top of our page, saying whose card you thought was better. And now it's time to roll the loser. Okay, Mikey, we got the results back. It's time to read over who won the poll, and there wasn't any winners, there wasn't any losers. It was a tie.
Oh, man. Split down the middle, huh?
Split down the middle, 50-50. So we do not know who had the better card. Both of us had good cards, both of us had bad cards. Who the hell knows?
Either both of us had good cards and the fans just couldn't decide which was better, or we both had shitty cards and the fans couldn't decide who they hated less.
That's fair, I guess. But it's time to hit the randomizer on each other then. So you ready? You primed and ready?
Yes.
Okay, I've rolled the randomizer. Let's see what I get to do to you for SmackDown. It's always fearful. It's always fearful. I'll tell you that much.
Especially after last week.
When you've lost an entire match, basically. But you got 2 matches out of it, so it's not too bad, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I got the result here for the randomizer, Mikey. It's pretty simple, pretty easy. It's going to take some time to figure out. So, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Reorder the entire card.
Oh, God damn it.
So basically, you got to look at that card, and you get to keep everything. You get to keep everything. You know, that's fine. But you got to reorder it in a different way.
Okay.
So that is going to...
I'm going to do that.
Yeah, so I guess take your time, figure out how to do it. You don't have to, I guess if you hype something,
Reorder the whole, like, just the matches or the segments too?
The entire card.
Ugh.
It doesn't have to, like, you don't have to change everything. Like, if you hype something as the main event, then that's the main event. And you don't have to change everything. It just has to be reordered enough that I would constitute as a reordered. I would say more than half has to change.
Okay, so can I keep? Because I feel like I need the main event because I hyped that as the main event. That last segment needs to close out the show. Mm-hmm. I feel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can keep those. You just have to change more than 50% of the rest of your card. What do you got for us?
All right. I did a lot of work. We made some changes here and there, but I think we got it.
What do you got?
So instead of the show opener being Oney Lorcan, it's going to be Ember Moon coming to the ring to explain her actions last week, and she basically cuts the same promo about getting revenge on Asuka and challenging her to the match at SummerSlam. Mm-hmm. Which leads into match 1 being Asuka versus Nikki Cross, where after the match Asuka accepts Ember Moon's challenge. And then we have...
Does Ember stay for the match? Since she's in the ring?
Yeah, let's say Ember on commentary.
Yeah, baby.
All right, and then we have segment number 1, which is Oney Lorcan coming to the ring with a contract and giving the whole spiel about the tag team matches, which leads to match number 2, Ali and Mysterio versus the Street Profits. Then we have the segment with Undisputed Era and their presence at SummerSlam, where they do the backstage interview. Then we have the video package hyping up the Universal title match at SummerSlam. Then match number 3 is Fish and O'Reilly versus Heavy Machinery. Match number 4, our main event, is Pete Dunne and Bayley versus Riott and Strong. And then we have Orton packing his bags and getting attacked by Drew McIntyre at the end.
So basically, the first half is all moved around.
The first half is all moved around, and the last like quarter of SmackDown is the same because the way the card is ordered, it kind of needs to be like that.
Yeah. I like having this in here because it just like is an annoying thing to happen.
Mm-hmm. It's like not too detrimental. It's just annoying.
Okay, Mikey, that is what happened on SmackDown. Do you have the randomizer result for Raw?
Yes, the randomizer result for Raw is actually a randomizer result for SmackDown.
Huh?
Because I rolled a miraculous recovery.
Oh, dang, that's awesome.
Roll a D whatever to see which injured wrestler is healed faster, and roll a D4 plus 1 to see how many weeks they can knock off their injury.
Holy shit.
So I have 2 injured superstars right now. I have Sonya Deville, and I have Danny Burch. So one of them is going to heal a little bit faster.
Yes. Sonya Deville was injured for 25. Well, Sonya Deville's on the free agent list. I don't know if she's necessarily your person yet, right?
I don't know why that's there.
Because she went undrafted.
Oh,
because she was injured going into the draft.
Right.
So technically, she's not on your roster, which means technically,
I only have Danny Burch.
You only have Danny Burch.
All right, so he's out for 30 weeks. Let's see how many weeks we can knock off of that.
So what is it, D4 plus 1?
D4 plus 1.
That would be nice.
Yeah, so like, you get a maximum of 5 weeks off of his
30 week. Okay, well then.
Almost 30 weeks.
Roll that D4, baby. I'll get my schedule. Because at the very least, he's returning 2 weeks. 2 weeks faster.
2 weeks faster. All right, here we go. I'm gonna roll my D4, my live D4.
Mm-hmm.
I had sitting next to me because I just played D&D the other night.
Nice, a classic game.
All right, we rolled a 3.
3 plus 1, that's 4 weeks. So 1, 2, 3, 4. He returns.
His recovery has moved up 4 weeks. So now instead of 30 weeks, it's 26.
He returns to the Lunar New Year.
Gasp.
Instead of returning March 12th, Danny Burch is now returning February 12th.
All right.
So he dropped a whole month off of his injury, which means he can probably return from a previous Elimination Chamber or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Assuming whatever that is, probably not, but maybe Royal Rumble.
Yeah, some stuff like that. I'm excited. It's a little less, It's not great. I mean, it's not great that he's still injured for like 26 weeks, but it's something,
It's definitely something.
It's a little burst of good news.
Little birch of good news.
Da 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 ding.
And there we go. There are the results of the randomizer. And if you want to have that power of the randomizer and decide whose card was better, you can go vote in that poll as soon as this episode comes out on Twitter at HitTheBooksPod. Vote in that poll. It's going to be there for like a day and a half or something. And go vote there. It's been 2 years. Maybe we'll change up how we do the poll. We did say last week about maybe switching it to making the winner has to get hit by the randomizer. We'll see. Or maybe where do you have to do the poll at all? I wonder if you can do it on the website, now that I think about it.
Ooh, that would be cool.
Either way, you can go vote in the poll that is there on Twitter at HitTheBooksPod and say who you thought had the better card. Was it my version of Raw? Was it Mikey's version of SmackDown? Go vote right now. But not only that, subscribe while you're listening to this podcast. So go hit the subscribe button. Make sure you get it into your feed
and subscribe.
Get into your feed as quickly as possible because, of course, we have SummerSlam right around the corner. This Sunday is our SummerSlam pay-per-view special. We'll be putting out a bonus episode where you get to find out what happens at SummerSlam.
Ooh.
And, of course, we got that sister show, Wrestling Statistics, where me and co-host Craig from Pro Wrestling Musings review in-depth through stats and analytics one of the matches, a couple matches or whatever that we enjoyed for the past week. So, so it's pretty simple and easy. Go subscribe. And while you're still there, leave a review. If you don't mind, leave a review. 5 stars or more on iTunes. We would greatly appreciate it. Algorithms and whatnot enjoy 5-star reviews. The more reviews we have, the way more people can find it. Obviously, the better the reviews are, the more inclined people we to click and listen to a podcast. So we would greatly enjoyed it.
Remember, we have 6 5-star reviews or 5 6-star reviews.
Yes, so either hit 5-star review 6 times or enter a 5-star review and put in as your comment a bonus 6-star.
Yeah, put in +1 star.
Because nothing will make me happier than seeing a 5-star review that has a 1 star on it.
That would be great.
So go do that as well. Like I already said, go also check out htbpod.com. You can read up on everything, our backlog of history of everything that we've done this entire 2 years. It's pretty crazy. There's a huge backlog of history there, so go check that out. And, of course, go to YouTube to watch some video versions of podcasts or our 2K outcomes or past pay-per-view reviews. We got a bunch
if you want to hear us strut our commentary legs, hit our 2K outcomes.
Yes. I really hope we don't roll that, to be honest, Mikey, because I don't know how we would record it while I'm at this hotel and I do not have my Xbox.
That is fair.
I don't know how we're going to do it, but it doesn't matter. What we do know is that we'll be here this Sunday. We'll be here next week for you. So subscribe and make sure you're there with us as well. Mikey, anything else before we go?
I think you nailed it. You went through everything.
Yeah. Okay. Then we'll see everyone this Sunday for the SummerSlam pay-per-view special.
Oh, yeah.
Go check that out when it drops. Until then, for Mikey, I've been Ryan. Until next time, we've got 2 words for you.
Book it.